What's up guys, I'm Mr. Audio, and if you're new here on this channel we talk about music production, sound design, mixing, mastering, and pretty much anything to get your tracks ready for release. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss a video. Let's get into it. Alright, so in this video, we're going to talk about vocal production. Specifically, how to make that huge sound that you'd hear only in the chorus of a song. Let's break it down. You have a lead vocal, alright? You have thickening vocals on the side. Could be created doubles, could be actually sang doubles. It works really well if you do sang doubles, because then you have less chances of causing phasing issues. Now, let's just dissect one of my vocal stacks that I created completely artificially. And then we're also going to discuss some vocal harmony techniques as well. Alright, it's going to be a big video and I wanted to get this out there before I put out the recording vocals and the Melodyne vocals, because there's two parts to the Melodyne vocal and I've got it all recorded, just none of it edited. There's just so much to go through. Anyway, alright, so this post is made in an audio group that I'm in, and I'll read it to you, and then I'll read the one comment that made me want to make this video. I recently heard that most vocal tracks that you hear on professional recordings are doubled, tripled, or even more. I'm not talking about the vocals that are obviously doubled, but more the vocal tracks that sound like a single vocal track. I'm curious about this. Alright, I'm going to stop there because the rest of the post is unimportant. Now, whether they be created doubles or actually sang doubles, there is ways to make them one cohesive sound. Now, a lot of people prefer to do false doubles now because it's easy, it sounds good, and we've got ways of covering up the artifacts it creates. And especially nowadays, how music is getting created, getting sent to mix engineers like me, and environments like this where we don't even see the singers half the time. We can't coach them. We can't tell them sing, 4 different takes of this or 5 different takes of this. We can't tell them to do that because we're not in the room recording with them. So, that being said, it's not always possible to go back and re-record those vocals. Plus, the vibe might not be there. You might not have the same vocal tone. It might clash with the original recording. So, a lot of people like to create what I call false doubles. With these false doubles, you can create false harmonies. You can go an octave up, an octave down. Some people like to do major third. I personally don't find the major third very pleasing to my ears. I like perfect fifth harmonies, alright? I like the harmonies to make kind of like a power chord. Now, when creating harmonies, I do not harmonize with the lead vocal. Rather, I harmonize with the rest of the band. Let me give you a scenario, alright? You're in a band and you play rhythm guitar. You have a lead guitarist and you're playing a part of the song where there's a guitar solo happening. So obviously, you're following the lead guitarist, right? Wrong. You're following the rest of the band, keeping the rhythm section so that the lead guitarist can do the solo and it sound good. Otherwise, the lead guitar is just playing a solo and you're just following all the chords corresponding with each note. That's not going to sound good. Plus, it's going to be extremely difficult to play. Alright, so why are we duplicating vocals and pitching the whole vocal performance up 3 semitones or down -6 semitones? This isn't a good idea. Because at some point, you're going to sing a note that is not in the chord. And the harmonization is going to sound bad. Now, in an example I'm going to show you later, we play a chord C. Alright? But if I were to harmonize with every note in the lead vocal performance, I would be adding an F sharp in the middle of that C chord. So it would sound like this. Doesn't sound very musical to me, alright? So even just that little bit, just that little F sharp for that long could ruin a vocal performance. You will definitely hear this discrepancy. So, what do I like to do? I like to use isotope products because I get a really nice unique sound with vocal synth and I can have it follow MIDI notes. And personally, I like to take the chords that I'm playing in the song and just turn them into power chords. A 1-5-1 pattern, alright? And then I let the vocals just follow that MIDI chord progression throughout the chorus. Now, I've got a video, I'll link it up here where I show that. And there's another video I do where I explain how to set all the MIDI mode up so iZotope can read the MIDI information and feed you back those notes in your vocal synth. And I'll link that video up here. So let's just pick apart what my vocal stack is doing on one where I've completely artificially created the stack. Like I said, I have some MIDI information here. If you look, there are just 3 chords really being played the entire time. And I don't have the harmonies that are following these MIDI notes playing the whole time either, just accenting certain phrases or certain parts of words. Then we'll go into the harmonizing example where I show you that F sharp example in the C chord that I was explaining earlier. So let's just listen to the track without the vocal stack. Time is running out. I hope my feet don't fail me, Okay, now let's listen to the track with the vocal stack on. And then I'll toggle it off and then on again so you can hear the difference. So here's with the vocal stack on. Time is running out. I hope my feet don't fail me now. Now let's check under the hood and actually see what's happening here. All right, let's just solo out the vocal bus. Time is running out. I hope my feet don't fail me. Okay, so what's happening here is I've taken these vocals and I've duplicated them to this track here. Now this track had a bunch of processing on it. It's right here, it's frozen. And then I basically copied all of these stacks up here. Now each of these are doing different things. I will unfreeze so you can see what each of these under the hood look like. So after all of the EQ and compression, which I'll probably do a whole nother video on that, we have some pitch correction and format shifting up and harmonies going +12. And I'm setting it to the voices only. So Nectar is creating 2 harmonies exactly an octave up on both sides of the lead vocal. Now I do that again, and then I put those harmonies an octave down, but still on the sides of the lead vocal, left and right, hard panned. And I set it to voices only as well. This top one here is a little different because it is just 2 unisons on the sides. And I set it to voices only again. All right. Now, the harmonies, again, are being carried by this vocal synth here, which is following these MIDI notes. Now, let's look at these chords here, because they're going to be important in the next example. All right, so it looks like we have an F power chord, a G power chord, and an A power chord. All right, this is a pattern of a 1-5-1, but it's really just 2 notes, and you need 3 notes to make a chord. Power chords aren't really chords. They just sound good in most scenarios. Does that make sense? Anyway, so without that third that I really don't like, because I could make this sound a little different, and we could put this right here, 4 semitones above. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that's the major third. Now let's see how this sounds. Time is running. Sounds all right. Time is running. Time is running. Time is running. See, I just don't like that thickness. All right, so that 5th harmony is pretty sweet to me. You can experiment around with the 3rd harmony, but I would always stick to the chords that you're playing. As soon as you go outside of the chords, like, let's just hear what this sounds like. Because in the next example, we're going to have something similar to this happen, and let's hear what it sounds like. Okay, that's pretty dissonant. Now let's see what it sounds like against the rest of the stack. That sounds horrible. So we don't need to do that anymore. We're going to follow the chords of the production, and your vocal harmonies are going to turn out a whole lot better. Let's look at another example. Okay, so in this example, we're going to try out a few different scenarios, but I have it set up with the F sharp incorrect note in there, just so you can hear what it sounds like, okay? So I've soloed these 2 out, and in Melodyne, I have this set up exactly like this. Now, as you can see, it knows I'm playing a C chord. I've had it analyze this. It's playing a C chord right here, and that's what it's telling me I should snap these notes into. But we're going to undo that, and we're going to keep it like this. Let's hear how this sounds.
Can't explain.
Now let's hear how it sounds with the lead vocal.
Can't explain, gotta.
It sounds alright, but this right here just doesn't sound that good. I can snap it into place right here and it sounds better.
Can't explain, gotta.
See? Or, all together,
Can't explain, gotta.
that sounds a bit high. Let's try this. An octave down.
Can't explain, gotta.
Ooh, that sounds nice. And you could even go here and do the third. I don't normally like to do the third, but in this scenario, it sounds pretty good.
Can't explain, gotta.
And see, but you can hear the phasing issues. Listen at the end here. It sounds like wishy-washy.
Can't explain, gotta.
You can hear that shh. What we're going to do is we're going to raise the formants a little bit more because obviously it's not enough.
Can't explain, gotta.
There, it fixed it. All right. So this is just some food for thought for when creating harmonies. I just feel like people are just being lazy about it. I think iZotope does a great job in making a very convincing vocal false double and false harmonies, but nothing can replace the real thing. In my next Melodyne tutorial, I'll be going over a lot. All right. I'm not sure if I'll merge the two parts together because there's two different songs and one is way more intense than the other. But that's basically all for the video. And if you stuck around the end and you're an Ableton user, I've got some free stuff with links in the description. There's also some paid products on my website as well. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Mr. Audio, out.